this. We up.
Welcome to the State of Hockey podcast, featuring Justin Jelnick and Joe Hayford. Let's talk hockey.
Welcome to the State of Hockey podcast. This is episode 19, edition for Wednesday, September 30th. Just 8 short days until the Wild's regular season opener at Colorado. I'm Justin Jelnick from the State of Hockey blog, along with my fellow person from the State of Hockey blog, Joe Hayford. Joe, how are you?
I am excellent.
So, I'm having a lot of this, I should have gone to that thing moment regarding the preseason. I have not seen a frame of anything preseason related, but Joe, you went to that thing on Sunday night, and I haven't heard. How did it go?
It went nothing short of spectacular. Obviously it was preseason, but I did see a lot of things that I really liked to see out of the Wild, and a lot of concerns that I had from the roster last year seem to have been taken care of. They cycle very well, 5-on-5 in on the power play. They're moving their feet, they're moving their puck. Just a great improvement over what we saw last year. They remind me actually a lot of the Penguins power play, and we know how successful that power play is.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was kind of the knock on Yo when he was in Pittsburgh, and Bausma, was that the Penguins, despite all the talent, never seemed to get it going on the power play. But I mean, any side of life would be welcome for a power play that was in the bottom 5.
Right, I'm talking about the way they cycle the puck reminded me of last year's power play from the Penguins.
Gotcha.
The one that I think was like at 75% or something like that through the first third of the season. It was just ridiculous. I mean, obviously they leveled out a little bit, but they were a great power play last year, and that's the movement is what I saw that I really, really liked, and that's what people were.
That is great news to hear. I mean, and that's definitely been my knock on the power play last year was nobody moved to top the puck.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it was everyone moving, and there was one particular shift there that I saw, and I tweeted about it. It was actually a 5-on-5 shift that ended in a goalie stoppage, but they were cycling the puck back and forth. Dumba and Brodin together is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
That's going to be interesting. Dumba might be pushing for top 4 minutes, you think?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see why he wouldn't get top 4 minutes.
Ooh, this is exciting. We love the Dumba here.
Well, we got Suter, we got Brodin, we got Spurgeon. Dumba's our obvious number 4 defenseman, I think.
Well, it was Scandella most of last year, but maybe there will be a changing of the guard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a great problem to have, but I would put Dumba over Scandella. Maybe not necessarily based surely on talent, but I think that Dumba is better suited for the power play and the penalty kill.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he gets the more minutes than Scandella.
Fair enough. So I haven't seen anything yet. I've just been following tweets where I can. So I like hearing what you have to say. I also didn't know, did Mr. Riley play on Sunday night?
He did, and he played a spectacular game. He was everywhere he needed to be. He shot the puck when he needed to shoot it, and he made some really nice passes that Koivu fanned on 2 passes that were centered perfectly for him. Missed the net on one and then hit the post on another. So Riley was all over the place. He was doing what he needed to do.
Now, I don't know how good Winnipeg's lineup really was, and that's how it is in the preseason NHL.
Right.
Half the players in every lineup are on an evaluation.
And they definitely put out their B team.
Okay.
What I was looking for more, and I did see past that, obviously you're going to have a big discrepancy. The score was a very big factor there. 8-1, there was a big discrepancy in talent. We had our senior guys out there, with the few young guys mixed in. But they did not have very many players out there at all that are in their top 2 lines. I think they had 2 or 3 players from their top top two lines out there.
So a lot of players that Winnipeg played are going to be sent to their minor league team in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and looking beyond that, I was looking for position from Mike Riley when I was paying attention to what he was doing. He always seemed to be in the right position. He knew when to, make that offensive push and come down from the blue line and keep the puck in. He knew when to back off. All great things that I saw from him. His decision making is top notch.
So the big question is, Riley going to be on the team next week?
I would say he is.
Because I could go either way on that, but I mean, obviously you're the one that's seen it in person. I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world if he kind of went on the Dumba plan from last year. But maybe you wait and see if it has to go that way.
I think he's actually going to be exactly like the Dumbo plan from last year. I think he's going to be up here for a few weeks. I think they're going to kick him back down. And then I think they'll bring him up late in the season, for injury reasons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And then he might stick.
But I mean, we named our top 4D. Then you got Scandella. And then, I think it's between Folan and Riley for that last spot.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited that the Riley thing worked out so well. So we should probably not move on from the Winnipeg game without talking about what happened at the end of the Winnipeg game. Apparently, Coach Maurice was not thrilled about certain things that Yo was doing.
Well, I guess if it were my team, I'd be a little upset about it too. But here's the reason, and Yo gave a good explanation. Palousa's running around out there like he wants to be the next Matt Cook. And, Yo's response was, I'm not going to put out, anyone to fight you because, well, we traded all those guys or cut them.
Yeah.
We're going to score goals on you.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly reasonable. And, I think I saw you tweet, you compared him to my favorite St. Louis Blue.
Yes, and I actually think he might be going for the Odd Awards, so maybe we'll have to make that a segment, the Odd Awards for the week.
We will give that some thought. So, so the regular season starts a week from Thursday at Denver, and then they come back home for their home opener against St. Louis on 10th.
Yes.
Not an easy start.
No, not an easy start, but I think...
the first game's kind of easy, but I'm expecting nothing from Colorado.
I don't know. We'll see what they have. It's going to be, again, you just never know what to expect in the first game of the year.
I can't count them down, but I think, yeah. I can't believe Waugh kept his job. I'm sorry.
I wasn't all that surprised, but...
yeah, well, you let me hang myself. That's just Ducky. That's what you do.
Yeah, he's Patrick Waugh. He's a big name guy. And,
I know.
They're going to keep him around for as long as they see fit, and then they'll, get rid of him like...
Well, I think it's even money he's out at some point this
year. I wouldn't say that. I think that the thing you got to understand, you got to look at this from a neutral point of view.
Uh-huh.
What they managed to accomplish after a dreadful start to the season, they got up over 90 points by the end of the year.
That's true.
So he did turn it around. So in this division,
yeah, and this
which
is the
I don't care
division.
who you say, this is the hardest division.
Not
in
even close. It's I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Even the bottom feeders aren't easy.
So you had your beat Waugh to death goggles on, and I think you missed that.
I kind of missed the turnaround because they weren't we were in the picture. But yeah, I see what you're saying. We'll see what happens though. Their possession though, so bad.
Well, they're an offensive based team. They have 0, which is ironic. You got a goaltender coaching you, and you'd think you'd be a more defensive minded team. But
oh well, what are we gonna do?
We'll see how they play. I guess on October 8th.
We will, but hopefully it'll be like last year's opener at the X.
Yes, or even last year's game in Colorado.
Yes,
I'll take that one too.
I would take that one too. Hey, what if they'll do a viewing party that night? That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll
I imagine
see.
they
Yeah,
said
I
something
will
by
definitely
now
be
if
there
they
if they
were.
do.
Yeah, I imagine they said something by now. So, oh well. So yeah, Paul Maurice, get over it.
Yeah, Paul. He had absolutely no business doing that. He basically.
But I get it. You get waxed, you're frustrated. You might say some things you don't really mean.
Well, I mean, he comes off in that interview as a high school coach who's wishes there was a mercy rule.
Yeah.
I mean, these are grown men. If you don't like the score, play harder. They were not playing hard at all.
Yeah, this isn't sixth grade, and there shouldn't be mercy rule in sixth grade either. But that's another topic.
Yeah, and I also agree with it on this aspect, and I don't think Yale will ever admit to it. But I think he wanted us to do what we did to Winnipeg for one reason: confidence.
That's right. I think that's absolutely fair, even if you were to admit to it.
I mean, we got waxed by the Oilers. We got waxed by the Sabres.
Yeah.
I mean, we needed our confidence back. And we got it back in very, very nice fashion. It was a great game for my kid to go watch with me. It was his first Wild game.
Yeah, that's so cool that I saw the picture that they actually make up certificates for that.
And give you a puck.
So how did you find out all that?
Yeah. So
I had no idea they did that. How did you find out?
I found out my Wild Rewards website. It's one of the things you can get points for.
Oh, that is cool. I will have to start looking at that now that I'm in the club.
Well, you don't even have to be in the club, actually. It's just that's how I found out about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Anytime you bring someone to a game it's their first Wild game, they can get a certificate and a puck.
That's pretty sweet. So, I'm going to throw one thing in here that's more league-wide. I guess on Tuesday, it sounds like groups from Las Vegas and Quebec City made formal pitches to the NHL. I think it's starting to look more like a matter of when than if for these two cities.
Yeah, I had no doubt that there were going to be, two new expansion teams coming to the NHL. It'd just be, I'm guessing it'll be either next year or the year after.
Yeah.
My guess is actually more towards the 2016-2017 season. Which
would be the year after this.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be pretty quick.
I saw some posts on this, and I haven't made up my mind yet on whether or not I think this is a good move.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough top tier talent out there to sustain two more teams.
I guess this is how I felt about it. I thought they grew way too quick in the 90s. They added 9 teams in a span of 9 years, and I think the product paid for that. I mean, and the proof is those early Wild teams were awful. Even the one that made the big run in 03 did it mostly because they were able to stay in games thanks to the trap. So, I love you, Coach Lemaire, by the way, even though you're a Maple Leaf guy. So, but, yeah, so, but now look at it, it'll be 17 years since they've added anybody. And, the participation in the Sun Belt, and hockey is the only sport that is growing in participation in the United States. Actually, so, but probably, it's easier to grow when you're starting toward the bottom, obviously, but, I think there's gonna be, there's probably more talent. I think we're heading back toward that balance.
Yeah, I guess I'm cautiously optimistic about the expansion. Yeah. I think that adding these two new teams I like it. I like having more teams. I like having the extra fan base for hockey, getting more and more people excited in the sport. It's hard to be excited about a sport that you can never go see.
Yep.
So, I like that aspect of it. I just don't want to see the talent pool dwindle so much that it's a slower game. It's not as entertaining and high paced.
And when that happened in the 90s, the game did really suffer. I get that argument, but I'm a little more comfortable with it than if they had done it, say, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of up and comers. I mean, the draft classes of late, the last 3 years in particular, have just been unbelievable.
And deep. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get like someone 5 years ago you would have gotten, number 1 overall pick. You can pick that guy up for like, in the middle of the second round now. So
yeah, guys like Matt Dumba might not fall to 12.
no. 5 years ago, Matt Dumba would have been a number 1 overall pick.
I like Matt Dumba. That's the whole point of the podcast, I believe. Is to profess our undying
Matt
love
Dumba
for
fan
Matt
club.
Dumba. Yeah, maybe we should change it.
No, I'm good. Because Matt Dumba will get traded and we will die.
That would suck.
Yes,
that better not happen.
Sorry, I like quoting the meme. I see it on Twitter and Facebook all the time.
I would be so mad.
Yeah, I'm on the Dumba train. I plan on getting 3 jerseys this year, and Dubnyk and Zucker are the 2 I really want, and then the third one I'm debating between Dumba or believe it or not, Koivu.
Oh, I like Koivu. It sounds like
I like Koivu a lot.
It sounds like he's been having a pretty good preseason.
And I tell you what, after playing pickup hockey like I have been the last few weeks, I prefer center, I think.
It's tough. That was the position I really struggled with because it's so much ice you have to cover.
Right. I like that because it's okay for you to run around like a chicken with your head cut off because that's what you're supposed to do. You just chase the puck.
I probably played a little too conservatively as a center.
Oh man, I am all over the place. But I always played goaltender, so I never really got out there and skated. And with pickup hockey, it's it's a rotating bench. You just get off and play whatever position the guy coming off is playing. And I'm telling you, I struggle big time at D. Big time because I have the tendency to get in front of the goaltender like I'm a goalie.
Yeah, don't. Oh, sure, you would. Yeah.
And so center is where I think I belong if I'm skating.
It makes you appreciate good centers.
Yes, and that's another reason why I really like the Koivu aspect.
I'm glad you mentioned Dubnyk, and right after we mentioned Vegas, because he's apparently a 14-1 to win the Vezina next year. So
not too bad.
Who wants to fly to Vegas and try and 14 times our money?
I don't know.
That seems like a good price to me. 15-1 on Parisi to win the Richard. All he has to do is go nuts.
Yeah, all he has to do.
He has to do. So easy. Right.
Yeah, well, the thing you're forgetting about is the Minnesota goalie curse. Although I tell you what, Dubnyk looked like a beast on Sunday.
Yeah.
Going back to Sunday, some of the saves he made were just unbelievable.
And actually, for what it's worth, what I've been reading, both Kemper and Backstrom had decent outings.
Yes.
So maybe
yes, I have seen that.
Backstrom's going to play himself
into
a trade, maybe. We can hope. Not really.
Yeah. Well, he's not a bad third-string goaltender.
No, he's not. It's just unfortunate because that really hamstrings the Wild's roster as we've beat to death on the show this summer.
Hey, you know what? I'm not even talking about talent-wise. If we skate the way we skated on Sunday, even 60% of the year this year, we're going to be so much better than we were last year.
That would be...
I can think of 10 games right now that we lost last year that we would have won.
Right.
Just by moving our feet and skating and being in position, getting in front of the net, crashing. Koivu, Nino Niederreiter actually scored the goal, but Koivu he did a slapper from the point.
Nice.
How often do you see Koivu slap the puck from the point?
He's been a pass first guy, but you got to mix it up.
Exactly. I mean, stuff like that. That goaltender Hutchinson was in that. I guarantee you, he was not expecting that. He's like, "Oh, Koivu's got that at the point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a drink of water."
Well, I hope this is a new and improved attack. It would definitely help. I mean, and as we pointed out, they actually only scored 2 goals short of the Blackhawks in last year's regular season, for all the praise the Hawks get for their offense.
Yeah, I mean, again, and that's our 5-on-5 scoring. I think our 5-on-5 scoring was the best in the league, wasn't it?
It was up there for sure. So,
we just really suffered on the power play.
Yeah, and that they did, and it's just mind-boggling as to why they play so differently on the power play. But maybe that's going to go away. You're taking Sunday's game as early signs.
I definitely am, because even when they had, guys like Schrader and Holla out on the power play, they were cycling the puck up and down the point.
Well, let's hope that is things to come. So, before we close the show tonight, I want to bring back the topic of our show 2 episodes ago about the new Women's Hockey League. And Hockey Wilderness had a piece this week about the Minnesota Whitecaps, which have been, amateur, quote, pro Minnesota team that has played at the very smaller rinks around. And apparently they may be a target for the NWHL or to rejoin the CWHL and bring high-level women's hockey. And obviously, after the episode we did 2 episodes ago, we were very much on team NWHL. We like where this model is starting, and it would be great for players to have the chance to continue to play after college is over and, be paid for it.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I think that the CWHL is a much more viable option for the Whitecaps because of, geography.
Yeah.
There's teams that are closer.
But
the only plus side is the buy-in to the NWHL seems a lot less.
Yeah.
So
well, it sounds like the NWHL teams may be interested in playing exhibitions out here, which would be a huge step in that direction. And I think, when they're ready, I think getting a team in Minnesota and in Chicago would, get them to 6, and that would be a pretty viable option to have at least one close rival, and then, you can do your plane and bus thing to the East Coast when you have to.
Yeah, and I'm not even. I'm a fan of. Let's give Wisconsin a hockey team.
I don't think that nice things.
I'm not a big fan of Wisconsin, but at least we'll keep them on that side of the border.
Yeah, it could happen. Actually, Madison or Milwaukee would probably be a very good market.
I mean, the only good thing to ever come out of Wisconsin is Ryan Suter. So
that's true. Although I'll be honest, I actually was a Milwaukee Admirals fan for the couple years I had the misfortune of living in Wisconsin during high school. It was the one team I could cheer for without feeling super dirty. So
yeah.
And they still are actually affiliated of the Nashville Predators. So, and actually, if not, Milwaukee is probably a market about half the size of the Twin Cities. People don't understand that's actually a pretty big difference. So supporting 4 major teams out there is tough, especially because it looks like the Bucks' future is secured for a while. But
yeah, and they seem to be looking.
But it would be
looking up. But
it would be interesting to get a women's hockey team there. Do the border war. That would be another way to go too. But I do wish the NWHL best success. I'd love to have more hockey to watch and talk about and hear. So
yeah, and I've looked. If anyone out there figures out how I can watch an NWHL game or all of them, please let me know.
I wonder if we won't find some of that out pretty soon. So.
Well, yeah, I've been looking for it. I've even messaged them on their message board. I can't figure out any of it. You'd think they'd do like a private, web streaming you pay for, web streaming service, or.
Well, see, personally, I can't imagine why, NBCSN or Fox Sports 1, who have hours to fill, wouldn't be wanting to get in on this, or maybe they're going to wait a year and see what happens. Well,
come on, get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Get in on the ground floor. Televise it. I'd rather see that than, shot put at 2 a.m. You go on ESPN and they're it's seriously, it's like shot put and frisbee toss.
Yeah. Well, if you do have the chance Friday night, I'm unfortunately leaving town Friday, but for those of you that aren't, can head to Ritter Arena and watch the Whitecaps play an exhibition against the Gophers.
I don't know if I can pick that or not.
Well, whether you can or not, maybe some of our listeners can that want to get in on the women's hockey bandwagon. We're trying our best to be on the ground floor, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I'm, as I've mentioned many, many times, equality in sports is a big thing for me, and I think, as the Lynx have shown, they put out a better product than the men.
Well, yeah.
I think personally,
and
I mean,
national soccer teams as well, for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't the women come out and do something similar to that?
I would have think this would have happened by now, but I'm glad it's happening, and I think this is a much better situation. So I guess we can wrap the show there, Joe. So 8 days away. It's gonna be a very exciting season for the Minnesota Wild.
Yes, it is, and if there is a viewing party, I hope to see everyone there.
Yep, sounds good, and I can't wait for this thing to start. So I guess we're gonna wrap it there. And I'm sure it's showing on the show. My head is so full with allergies right now, so it's part of why we're cutting it short tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will keep listening to us as the season gets going. And thank you as always. And for Joe Hayford, I'm Justin Jelnick, and have yourselves a great day.
Thanks for listening to the State of the Hockey podcast. The music was created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.